Question 1. What are the long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals?
I think yung long-term na psychological effects kasi sa mga individual nito is unang-una they will be frightened or magkakaroon sila ng mga iba't ibang phobia. Like, they can be fear of na humarap sa tao or mismo makisalamuha. Kaya nga dun sa mga biktima kasi ng bullying, they intend to, especially for the students, they intended to not going to school na lang. Especially if the bullying happens sa school. And also, if the bullying happens din kasi we have something called cyberbullying, meron din siyang psychological effect na parang ginajudge na siya ng lahat ng tao na makakasalamuhan niya. Kumbaga, nag-overthink na yung isang tao na nakakaranas ng bullying. It's either physical man yan or cyberbullying.
Long-term psychological effects of bullying in individuals is the anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and it may lead also PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder.
What are the long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals?
Para sa akin, dahil nakaranas na ako ng bullying nung elementary ako, ang isa talaga sa nagiging epekto na yung depression. Tapos yung stress talaga, na parang nasipil mo din na ayaw mo nang pumasok sa school, nasipil mo na parang mag-isa ka lang, feel mo parang i-judge ka ng lahat. Kung parang gano'n, tapos may takot ka araw-araw.
Psychological effects of bullying sa individuals ay yung anxiety, depression, and yung low self-esteem.
In terms of long-term bullying, yung sa effects, it could be trauma. Dahil magkakaroon nyo dahil pwede yung sumama sa development ng isang tao. What are the long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals?
Parang nagkakaroon sila na kapag pumunta sila dun sa isang lugar, parang pag makikisip nila na pwede silang saktan or pwede silang magkaroon ng judgment, gano'n.
I think the long-term psychological effects of individual is first trauma, second, esteem, and third, being introvert all the time.
It can lower their self-esteem and magiging mahilaan.
Long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals. For me, the long-term psychological effects is anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem.
What are the long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals?
So, some of the long-term psychological effect of bullying individual is anxiety, trauma, PTSD, or the post-traumatic stress disorder.
So yun nga, when we say bullying is hindi lang siya physical and also papasok rin siya sa mentality. So why ang daming victims na nagkakaroon ng trauma or nagkakaroon ng effect sa kanilang mentalidad na nagbibigay ng hindi maganda o nagbibigay ng o nakaka-apekto sa kanilang socialization skills.
Ano ang epekto ng bullying sa isipan ng mga tao sa matagal na panahon?
Ayun, yung mga nabubuli ay nagkakameron ng depression, anxiety, tapos nagiging din sila introvert dahil sa naranasan nilang pambubuli.
Ang epekto ng bullying ay maaaring trauma at depression. Kawalan ng confidence sa sarili. Ang long-term na epekto nito yung nagkakaroon ka ng depression, anxiety.
What are the long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals?
Para sa akin, upang matagal ang epekto ng bullying, ay maaaring nagiging mahiyain sila dahil natatakot sila sa paligid at nagkakaroon sila ng tinatawag na trauma dahil sa ginagawang pambully sa kanila.
The long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals.
Siguro tumatagal to ng months and weeks kasi hindi man natin pwedeng sabihin na araw lang yung parang pinakang kakalimutan nila yung pambubuli sa kanila kasi nakakatanggap sila ng depression at pagkakitil sa buhay nila.
What are the long-term psychological effects of bullying on individuals?
Siguro, ang long-term effect nito ay trauma. nagkakaroon sila ng anxiety or depression. Mas nahirapan sila makipag-socialize sa mga
How does bullying impact academic performance of social development?
Yun lang, based on my observation kasi, especially as a teacher, napakalaki ng impact ng bullying. It's either cyber bullying man yan or physical bullying kasi. Napakalaki ng nagiging effect nito sa isang student. So since si student nga, nagkakaroon siya ng loss of confidence. So may chances na hindi na siya mag-perform well sa school. Unang-una ay mahihiya na siya or even matatakot siya with the judgment of everyone. Hindi lang kasi yun ang bubuli sa kanya, even though kahit yung mga tao sa environment niya, pwedeng maka-apekto sa kanya. Kaya for the victims of bullying kasi, sobrang bumababa yung kanilang makatingin sa sarili nila.
So it has negatively impact both academic and social. So let's say for example sa academic, di ba? Once nakapag student ay nabubuli, ito yung tendency hindi na siya pumapasok absenteeism. At kapag hindi pumapasok yung student na yun, possible na hindi siya makapag-cope up sa mga topics, sa discussion ng klase o kaya ay pagpapasok ng mga requirements. So in terms of social naman, nagkakaroon sila ng trust issues na tinatawag na hindi nila alam na yung lumalapit pa silang tao is for friends ba talaga or ganun ulit yung kanilang mararanasan na makaibiganin tapos bubuli. Nagkakaroon ng trust issue. Kung kumukontilala yung kanilang limited yung naging pakipag-socialize na sa ibang tao.
How does bullying impact academic performance and social development? In terms of academic performance, ang isang batang na bully, pwede magkaroon ng low self-esteem, pwede magkaroon ng negative impact sa kanyang academic life. At sa social life, pwede siyang maging introvert or hindi na talaga siya makapag-socialize dahil parang sa trauma na nakakuha niya nung nabully siya.
Nakaka-apekto siya sa academic performance kasi kapag kunyari nabully ka sa school na may tendency na mag-isolate yung tao and maapektuhan yung performance mo sa school.
In academic performance, they could have lower grades and social development, they can be less interactive with others.
The impact on students is them not participating on group activities and that can lead to low grades. For social development, they tend to distance themselves from others because of the trauma they face.
Siguro, yun nga sinabi ko sa socialist. Nahirapan sila makipag-communicate sa ibang tao, which is nakaka-affect sa kanilang mag-aaral para sa mga.
How does bullying impact academic performance and social development?
In terms of academic performance, pag nabully ka, syempre may tendency na hindi ka na pumasok, parang bababa yung performance, academic performance mo na magiging worse is bumagsak ka ganyan tapos hindi ka na sa pag-aaral. In social development naman, yun katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, parang mawawalan ka na ng tiwala sa mga taong nakapaligid sa'yo.
Ay naapektuhan yung pag-aaral nila kasi may mga terms na tumitigil sila kasi nade-depress sila at natatakot sila na baka maulit yung pangbubuli nila.
Sila introvert dahil sinaranasan nilang pambubuli.
Paano nakaka-apekto ang bullying sa pag-aaral at pakikisalamuha ng mga tao?
Yung parang yun nga, kagaya nga nasabi ko, nagiging introvert sila tapos hindi sila masyado napasok sa school gawa ng yun nga, dahil sinaranasan nilang pambubuli. Tapos hindi na sila nakakasabay sa mga activities sa school tapos nagiging cause yun ang pagbaba ng grades nila.
How does bullying impact academic performance and social development?
So yun nga, once kasi na na-victim ka ng bullying, magkakaroon ng trauma or magkakaroon ng, maaari din magkaroon ng introversion ng isang tao at isang individual. Kasi matatakot siyang i-excel o ipakita kung sino pa nga ba siya dahil ang daming judgment, ang daming tao na nag-judge na kung sino siya. Kaya nagkakaroon ng epekto ito sa kanilang socialization life.
Apekto ito sa pagbaba ng grado nila. Minsan hindi na sila nakapasok dahil sa bullying. Nahihiya na sila kumarap sa ibang tao o nabubuli sila. Sa lahat na hindi na rin sila pumapasok at nawawalan sila ng kumpiyansa sa sarili, gawa lang sila yung nabubuli.
So when it comes to academics performance is parang hindi nila ina-engage yung sarili nila to interact to interact to their classmates. And sa social development naman is parang hindi sila gano'n nakiki-engage or nakikipag-socialize since meron nga silang ganong trauma.
Dahil back of self-bullying and academic performance as the behavior of the student. I think it will reflect in their grade and their interaction with other people and socializing and their fellow students. Nakakapagod talaga siya kapag yung student is mayroon ng trauma for his or her classmate. So that's why nagkakaroon din siya ng affected sa socialization.
How does bullying impact academic performance and social development?
Like yung sinabi ko nga kanina, na nabully nga ako nung elementary days ko. Yung performance ko ngayon sa school at yung performance ko dati ay ibang-iba. Dati, talagang hindi ako nag-engage sa klase. Like, sa recitation, ayaw ko talagang magtaas ng kamay. Kasi parang feel ko talaga pagtatawanan lang ako. Tapos mga group activities, parang hindi ako nagbibigay ng ideas ko kasi parang inisip ko mali yun or baka hindi nila tanggapin, hindi nila acknowledge kasi mababa lang tingin nila sa akin. Tapos doon naman sa social development, yung parang ayaw mo makipag-usap sa iba, ayaw mo makipag-halubin sa iba kasi parang feel mo talaga hindi sila, walang taong tatanggap sa'yo kasi hindi sila.
Can self-defense training empower victims of bullying? If so, how?
For my personal opinion kasi, when it comes to self-defense kasi, napakarami kasi na kind ng bullying. Meron kasing bullying na nangyayari is psychological lang. So, paano mo siya may sa self-defense if that happens psychologically? Pero siguro kung physically, it might solve something, pero nandun pa rin tayo sa point na hindi nyo pa rin masosolve yung bullying by means of self-defense. Kasi there might be effect for the person who is being bullied psychologically, and kapag natuto siya siguro, kasi it's an instance din, kapag natuto siya ng self-defense, that there's something might happen na siya na rin yung maging bully at the time na dumating yun.
Question 4. What are the benefits of incorporating self-defense techniques into anti-bullying programs?
Benefits, siguro, ang nakikita ko ng benefits niya is from the time na nangyayari yung bullying. Like kung siya ay physical bullying na binubugbog, inaabangan sa labas, doon ko lang kasi nakikita yung beneficial yung self-defense. Pero when it comes to the after effect of that bullying, I don't see any importance about self-defense.
Question 5. How can self-defense training build confidence and self-esteem in individuals?
Yan. Actually, with the proper training kasi when it comes to self-defense, naniniwala ako na maganda naman siya. Especially not only in bullying but protecting yourself from harm. Kaso, if hindi siya na-manage ng ayos, so for example, naituro lang siya, self-defense, marunong ka ng mag-self-defense, kaya mo na ipagtanggol ang sarili mo. Sabi ko nga kanina, pwedeng maging epekto niyan is by the time comes na naramdaman nung nabubuli na mas malakas na siya or mas dominant na siya sa nambubuli, so pwedeng siya na rin yung mambuli dun sa nambubuli sa kanya dati.
Question 6 po. What roles does bystander intervention play in preventing and addressing bullying?
Role siguro ng bystander, actually we cannot force them to help you. Parang bukal na lang sa kanilang loob kung tulungan ka. Kaya nga siguro maganda rin na you learn how to do self-defense. Pero mas maganda sana kung ang program ay continuous, which is pwede ka lang mag-guide na into make you as a professional or disciplined ka na. Kasi yun nga, marami pa din pwede maging epekto kapag natuto ka na ng self-defense. Hindi lang positive but in a negative way, meron din kasi siyang pwede maging epekto.
Question 7. How does self-defense education contribute to creating a safer school environment?
Self-defense. Yun, siguro nga, when it comes to self-defense, maganda naman siya na isama into curriculum. Ang kailangan nga lang natin, full guidance when we teach the self-defense. Kasi what if lahat ay marunong na mag-self-defense? Then time comes na nagkaroon ng conflict between individuals na marunong pareho. So what will happen? Diba? So kailangan discipline sila when it comes of using self-defense. Hindi yung marunong lang sila. Dapat alam nila kung para saan at kailan gagamitin ito.
Question 8. Are there any legal implications for using self-defense techniques in response to bullying?
I'm not really familiar about the law or regulations, but when it comes to self-defense kasi, medyo mahirap din siya kasi patunayan sa court based on what I have watched dun sa mga napapanood natin dito social media. Kasi unang-una, kailangan meron mga witnesses. Okay? Pero when it comes naman kapag nasaktan mo ang isang individual, there is a corresponding law na pwede kang ma-violate if hindi mapatunayan na self-defense yung pangyayari.
Question 9 po. What are some effective self-defense strategies for different types of bullying scenarios?
More on, ang alam mo kasing self-defense lang is the pepper spray. Yan, isa yan sa mga self-defense. Common karate do, or sabihin natin yung mga martial arts, discipline martial arts, pwedeng gamitin for self-defense.
How can school and communities work together to promote self-defense skills among youth?
By embedding siguro sa curriculum, which is in senior high school naman kasi and junior high school, tinuturo. In junior high school, parang itinuturo na si Arnis, di ba? And also with senior high school, they integrating some of the sports that can be used as self-defense.
Question 11. What are the cultural and societal barriers to implementing self-defense education in mainstream subjects?
Okay, number 1 dyan is the child protection policy. Okay? So, how you're going to handle, ito kasi yung pwedeng yung part nating question dyan. How you're going to handle if both parties are child or minor? So, paano nyo ma-implement yung iba't ibang laws if medyo contradicting siya dun sa mangyayari. Kasi even though kasi na we have the minors today, meron na rin silang capabilities na makagawa ng mga heinous crime.
Question 12 po. How does self-defense training foster resilience and mental well-being in victims of bullying?
Self-defense training, siguro they boost the confidence by means of kaya nilang protektahan yung sarili nila. Pero minsan, psychologically, pwede rin mangyayari na yung self-defense na knowledge nila, pwede na nga rin nila magamit into bullying someone din. Kasi that's the psychological effect. Dati na bubuli ako kasi mahina ako. So, nagpalakas ako ngayon, but ngayon, I can bully someone na who is weaker than me.
Question 13. Can self-defense education help reduce instances of cyberbullying and harassment?
Okay, maybe on harassment part, okay, so pwede natin siyang maging part, especially for the ladies, yung ating self-defense. But I think for the cyberbullying, medyo, paano natin siya i-promote na sa self-defense? Ano yung mga pwedeng practices na gawin natin when it comes to cyberbullying na kasi yan, di ba? So parang wala pa akong naisip na magiging self-defense for cyberbullying. Ito ba yung magre-reply ka? Ipopost mo din ba? Ayan.
Question 14. What are the ethical considerations of teaching self-defense to children and adolescents?
In some culture kasi, or beliefs, they tend not to teach the ladies some of this. Kasi unang-una, bumabali ito dun sa mga cultural aspects nila. So, that might be one of the factor na hindi pwedeng i-apply yung self-defense with them or hindi pwedeng ituro kasi nagbabiolate ito sa kanilang mga paniniwala. Ayan.
Last question. How can incorporate self-defense into mainstream subjects to promote a culture of respect, empathy, and understanding?
Yan, for this last question, I think magiging effective naman talaga si self-defense. Yun nga lang, there should be a proper guidance talaga na hindi yung mga bata, sabihin natin, lumalaki yung ulo, which is mapupuno sila ng overconfidence. Yung tama lang, kasi lahat naman talaga ng sobra is masama. So, kailangan talaga guided yung mga bata para hindi mawala yung discipline na tinuturo sa kanila while they were in training. Kasi yung iba, after the training, wala na, medyo yumayabang na, and they're not really practicing what they have learned during the training.
Thank you po.
Can self-defense training empower victims of bullying? If so, how?
Okay, so self-defense training, yes. Self-defense training empowers the victims of bullying, so by providing skills on how to defend themselves, and what else? Boosting their confidence about once they know that or they know how to master those technical skills na kanilang matutunan sa self-defense training.
Bystander intervention play in preventing and addressing bullying.
Okay, so bystander intervention plays an important role in preventing and addressing bullying by empowering the witness to speak out, to intervene, and to support the victims.
Are there any legal implications for using self-defense techniques in response to bullying?
Yes, there is a legal implication, but it depends on the situation or the circumstances. But there's applicable laws about self-defense as a response to bullying.
What are some effective self-defense strategies for different types of bullying scenarios?
Okay, so some strategies or some effective strategies is assertive communication, de-escalation technique, and physical skills for stating and defending yourself. And of course, you should know how to seek help from the authorities or trusted individuals.
Self-defense skills among you.
Okay, school and communities, they can work collaboratively by siguro administering workshop. They can organize workshop for the youth, training and seminars, and in terms of school naman, they can have the curriculum integration.
What are the cultural and social barriers to implementing self-defense education in mainstream subjects?
I think the societal and cultural barriers to the misconception about violence. Diba, sinasabi nila, ba't ka ba nagkakaroon ng self-defense training? Dahil ba magigante, gusto mo magigante sa mga nangguwi sa'yo or gamitin ito sa kasamaan. No, ano po, so we need to maalis yung misconception na yun na I want this self-defense training dahil para sa oras na pangangailangan, oras ng kaligtasan, or for my safety, kaya kong i-dependa yung sarili ko. And aside from that, one of the barrier also is the assistance for obtaining educational priorities.
Can self-defense training empower victims of bullying? If so, how?
For me, yes, dahil makakatulong to para maibsan kung mabubuli man sila kayo yung mga tao or yung mga student. Pag-aaral ng self-defense ay pwedeng maging isang paraan kung paano nila maprotektahan ang kanilang sarili.
Question 4. What are the benefits of incorporating self-defense techniques into anti-bullying programs?
Ang benepisyo na paggamit ng self-defense sa mga program is matututunan ng mga bullying victims kung ano yung pwede lang gawin para palesen yung kanilang yung threat dun sa pagbubuli sa kanila.
Question number 5. How can self-defense training build confidence and self-esteem in individuals?
So, yun nga, sa pag-employ nila ng self-defense sa bullying terms nila, makakatulong yun para mapaangat ang kanilang self-esteem, pati na rin ang kanilang strength sa kung ano mang mangyayari sa kanila or sa possible effects na mangyayari sa kanila.
Question number 6. What role does bystander intervention play in preventing and addressing bullying?
Ang papel ng mga taong nakakakita sa bullying sa pagbigyan at pagsalpa sa mga biktima is they are playing the hero role, which is nakakatulong din yun sa mga nabully na tao. Kasi kung wala yung mga bystander, walang tutulong doon sa victim ng bullying. Kung present man, in the present time, kung nabubuli man sila physically.
In preventing and addressing bullying.
Ang papel ng mga taong nakakakita sa bullying sa pagbigyan at pagsalpa sa mga biktima is they are playing the hero role, which is nakakatulong din yun sa mga nabully na tao. Kasi kung wala yung mga bystander, walang tutulong doon sa victim ng bullying. Kung present man, in the present time, kung nabubuli man sila physically.
Question number 7. How does self-defense education contribute to creating a safer school environment?
Self-defense education contributes to creating a safer school environment. So, pamamagitan ng self-defense, yun nga magkakaroon sila ng knowledge kung paano nila isasalpa yung sarili nila from danger kung nabubuli man sila physically. So, for me, yun yung importance ng self-defense education sa pag-implement ng system.
Are there any legal implications for using self-defense techniques in response for bullying?
Wala akong idea sa kung ano ang legal implications ng self-defense to address.
Question number 9. What are some effective self-defense strategies for different types of bullying scenarios?
So, in terms of physical bullying, paniguradong self-defense is a key to prevent the bullying. So, for me, ang self-defense ay ma-apply lamang kung physically silang napubully.
Question number 10. How can schools and communities work together to promote self-defense skills among youth?
Promoting self-defense among youth, I guess, pwedeng mag-propose na activity or program yung isang community or ang school para sa mga estudyante na gustong matuto ng self-defense na nakakaranas din ng bullying.
Question number 11. What are the cultural and societal barriers to implementing self-defense education in mainstream subjects?
I think yung pagsasabi nila na huwag nang gumante kapag nasasaktan. Kasi kalimitan sa mga nakakatanda, sinasabi nila na huwag na lang gumante. Pero for me, tingin ko hindi dapat yun gawin. Hindi naman sa gumante ka rin physically, kundi gumante ka as a defense sa sarili.
Question number 2. How does self-defense training foster resilience and mental well-being in victims of bullying?
Pwede na lang maging coping mechanism yung pag-aaral ng self-defense in terms ng purpose sa pagiging matatag na kanilang mental health at yung kalusugan.
Question number 3. Can self-defense education help reduce instances of cyberbullying and harassment?
I think no. Kasi cyberbullying means bullying on the internet or not physically. So paano mo mai-implement ang self-defense kung cyberbullying yung pinag-uusapan? Ano yung sasaktan mo sa internet? Hindi naman kasi yun. So, iba dapat ang dapat gawin doon and hindi self-defense na pang-physical.
Question number 4. What are the ethical considerations of teaching self-defense to children and adolescents?
Dapat nilang alalahanin sa pagtuturo is yung value ng self-defense. Kasi kung i-implement nila, ilalagay nila sa isip ng isang bata sa pagtuturo ng self-defense na eto, gagamitin mo para ilayo yung sarili mo sa kapahamakan. At iba rin yung pagsasabi dun sa isang bata na dun sa tinuturoan mo na yung self-defense gagamitin mo para maghigat ka. So, ganun lang talaga.
Last question. How can incorporating self-defense into mainstream subjects promote a culture of respect, empathy, and understanding?
Makakatulong ang self-defense sa paggalang, pagkakaisa at pagkaunawa. Doon mismo sa experience, in terms of experience na bully. Kung paano nila i-implement yung self-defense as a coping mechanism or defense mechanism. Kasi in terms of coping mechanism, sila ay igagalang nila. Hindi. Magkakaroon sila ng paggalang dun sa mga taong hindi sila sinaktan or binuli. Pero for those na nambuli sa kanila, iba yung paggalang na meron sila doon. Baka wala pang paggalang. Sa pagkakaisa naman, self-defense, pwede silang magtulungan. Diba, nabanggit nga na pwedeng magsagawa ng programs yun sa community at saka dun sa school. So, doon pa lang sa pag-implement ng self-defense education, makikita natin yung pagkakaisa. At in terms dun sa pagkaunawa naman, mas maunawaan ng yung mismong nabuli kung ano yung pagkakaiba ng pag-iigante sa ide-defense ng iyong sarili.
Thank you po. How can self-defense training build confidence and self-esteem in individuals? How can self-defense training build confidence and self-esteem in individuals?
Kapag natutunan mo ng isang individual yung self-defense, nagkakaroon siya ng knowledge about them and nagagamit niya yun para magkaroon siya ng mas mataas na self-defense.
What role does bystander intervention play in preventing and addressing bullying?
Siguro ang role nila ay yung sila yung nagiging witness kapag na-report yung issue or yung pamilya.
How does self-defense education contribute to creating a safer school environment? How does self-defense education contribute to creating a safer school environment?
Kapag natutunan nila yun, kumbaga kapag knowledgeable ang bawat individual sa self-defense, parang magkakaroon na din ng takot yung mga bully para mag-bully pa.
Are there any legal implications for using self-defense techniques in response to bullying?
Kasi yung self-defense, hindi siya, siguro, oo, kasi ang self-defense, hindi siya dapat ginagamit sa threat or yung pagbabanta.
What are some effective self-defense strategies for different types of bullying scenarios?
Siguro ay avoidance na lang. Pag-iwas sa mga mambubuli.
How can schools and communities work together to promote self-defense skills among youth?
Siguro pag-offer ng self-defense programs.
What are the cultural and societal barriers to implementing self-defense education in mainstream subjects?
Siguro ang nagiging barrier na ang cultural barrier ay yung norms, ay yung gender stereotypes. Kasi minsan kapag sinabing pag-aaral ng self-defense, minsan naka-stereotype lang siya sa mga kalalakihan.
How does self-defense training foster resilience and mental well-being in victims of bullying?
Nagkakaroon, kumbaga yun yung nagiging coping mechanism ng individual.
Can self-defense education help reduce instances of cyberbullying and harassment?
Nakakabawas. Kapag marunong, the more na maraming may knowledge about self-defense, na babawasan yung mga bully.
What are the ethical considerations of teaching self-defense to children and adolescents?
Siguro yung ilan sa mga ethical considerations is kung yung pagtuturo ba ng self-defense ay appropriate sa age ng tuturuan. At saka yung hindi dapat siya, or yung self-defense hindi dapat siya tinuturo to promote violence.
How can incorporating self-defense into mainstream subjects promote a culture of respect, empathy, and understanding? How can incorporating self-defense into mainstream subjects promote a culture of respect, empathy, and understanding?
Nagkakaroon ng self-respect at saka respect sa individual.
Thank you.
Can self-defense training empower victims of bullying? If so, how?
So, somehow, self-defense can empower victims of bullying, especially if may knowledge sila regarding self-defense. But, yan nga, like what I said, na it doesn't matter na porket magaling ka or marunong ka sa self-defense, kaya mo nang protektahan yung sarili mo. Kasi may iba't ibang circumstance or scenarios din kasi when it comes to protect yourself.
What are the benefits of incorporating self-defense techniques into anti-bullying programs?
So one of the benefits of incorporating self-defense technique in anti-bullying program is magkakaroon ng empowerment every individuals and most especially yung mga may past or na-bully.
How can self-defense training build confidence and self-esteem in individuals?
So yan nakaka-help talaga ang self-defense to build confidence and to build a self-esteem especially in individuals kasi since marunong ka na, may alam ka na sa self-defense, parang mas hindi ka na natatakot to face struggles or challenges na harapin.
What role does bystander interventions play in preventing and addressing bullying?
So, there are two types of bystander in that case or scenario. So, the first bystander is yung mga umaawat sa ganung scenario or events. Yung pangalawa namang bystander is sila yung mas lalong may dahilan kung bakit mas lumalawak yung ganung mga incidents or mga bullying.
Question. Can self-defense training empower victims of bullying? If so, how?
Depende. Parang it's either yes, kasi mas mapoprotektahan nila yung sarili nila. Mas parang kampante sila na every time, kampante sila na protektahan yung sarili nila na if ever man na may nanghuli, at least alam nila sa sarili nila na hindi sila yung tatakbo na lang or matatakot basta-basta. And no, kasi parang ang paggamit kasi ng self-defense is dapat may limit, hindi siya sobra. Kasi sabi nga ni Sir Dennis dati na sa korte, mahirap patunayan ang self-defense.
Question. What are the benefits of incorporating self-defense techniques into anti-bullying programs?
Actually, madaming benefits ang self-defense, lalo na kapag in-implement natin siya sa anti-bullying programs. Nandiyan na yung parang yung mga victims, matututo na sila na protektahan yung sarili nila and in a way din na mas nai-improve nila yung sarili nila na huwag matakot kasi alam na nila kung paano nila mag-protect yung sarili nila and yung ibang tao na yun.
How can self-defense training build confidence and self-esteem in individuals?
Mabubukas sila na mabubukas yung confidence nila na huwag matakot sa mga tao and in a way din na hindi na sila
What role does bystander intervention play in preventing and addressing bullying?
may advantage and disadvantage yung mga bystander. Ang advantage nila is nakakatulong sila of course sa pag-tigil at sa pag-address ng bullying na nangyayari. Like, pwede silang tumawag ng mga officials na pwede tumulong dun sa bullying scenario. And yung disadvantage is pwede silang makihalip mas lalong kahalip na lumiit yung tulo, mas lalong siyang
How does self-defense education contribute to creating a safer school environment?
parang mas magkakaroon tayo ng knowledge about self-defense. And in a way din na lahat, bawat estudyante is hindi malalasan na yung bullying.
Are there any legal implications for using self-defense techniques in response to bullying?
Ang maraming law na nagpo-protecta in anti-bullying, like Anti-Bullying Act, Republic Act number 10627 na nagpo-promote yun na prevent natin yung bullying and sa school din na parang ina-allow nila na i-adopt ng school yung kung paano i-prevent yung bullying, like self-defense na gano'n. Mas nalalesan yung mga possibility na magkaroon ng bullying issue sa school.
What are some effective self-defense strategies for different types of bullying scenarios?
Umiwas na lang sa gulo and pag kinausap ka nila, it's maging kalmado ka lang and hindi kayo parang mataas ang tingin mo sa sarili mo na parang ikaw pa yung kaya ka nilang yun, yung parang kalmado ka lang pero alam mo na hindi ka sasakot sa kahit na anong away kasi alam mo sa sarili mo na masama yun.
Self-defense training fosters silence and mental well-being in the face of bullying.
Self-defense training
foster resilience, lalo na yung pagpapatatag natin, hindi lang emotionally and physically, kundi pati na rin, yun nga, physically, kasi mas pinaglalagay na protektahan yung sarili natin. Kasi alam na natin yung mga basic na self-defense and emotionally kasi lalo na yung mental well-being kasi especially sa mga victims of bullying na mas papanatag yung loob nila na wala nang aakusin.
Can self-defense education help reduce instances of cyberbullying and harassment?
Hindi not all the times kasi pwede siyang maging cause din yung self-defense na sumobra tayo and mas maging sobra yung cause ng paggamit natin ng self-defense. Kasi self-defense dapat alam natin kung paano yung limitation niya. Like, what if yung paggamit natin ng self-defense ay mas sumobra and makasakit tayo ng sobra. So, dapat alam natin kung hanggang saan lang tayo.
What are the ethical considerations of teaching self-defense to children and adolescents?
Marami tayo dapat isaalang-alang, lalo na kapag nagsimula na yung training for self-defense. Nandiyan na yung place ng paggagawa natin, pag-training na natin ng self-defense. Tsaka yung sino yung magtuturo, especially kung ano yung edad. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng, lalo na kapag children, syempre, may specific na gawaan or limit lang sila na sa amin, madali lang, sa kanila, syempre, hindi lang kasi bata.
How can schools and communities work together to promote self-defense skills among youth?
So, pag-implement ng program, every barangay magkakaroon ng sa school yung pag-alam ng coach natin sa self-defense training, parang gano'n na i-implement nila para matuto yung bawat kabataan sa pag-protect na ng sarili.
What are the cultural and societal barriers in implementing self-defense education in mainstream subjects?
In terms of cultural, syempre bilang, for example, naka-encounter ng yung lalaki naka-encounter ng babae na lalaki. Syempre, as lalaki, hindi nila pwedeng sakran yung babae. Kasi ang sabi natin na yung role ng mga kalalakihan is para lang protektahan yung mga kababaihan. And syempre, parang culture na natin na hindi pwedeng sakran yung mga kababaihan kasi kaso
How can self-defense training empower victims of bullying? If so, how? They can be empowered in terms of they can know how to defend themselves in terms of in case of bullying scenarios happen to them. What are the benefits of incorporating self-defense techniques into anti-bullying programs? Can you repeat it? Again. What are the benefits of incorporating self-defense techniques into anti-bullying programs? It could be a better idea to add into anti-bullying programs in terms of students will get to know how to defend themselves. How can self-defense training build confidence in self-esteem in individuals? Because when they know how to defend themselves, they feel confident that in such situations they can defend themselves.
what role does bystander intervention play in preventing and addressing bullying?
It plays a vital role in terms of they can be the witness to the bullying.
How does self-defense education contribute to creating a safer school environment?
It could have a impact on a safer school environment in terms of children or teenagers who can know how to protect themselves.
Are there any legal implications for using self-defense techniques in response to bullying?
Yes.
What are some effective self-defense strategies for different types of bullying scenarios?
It all depends on the bullying scenarios, but I think we could use karate or like something.
How can schools and communities work together to promote self-defense skills among youth?
They could have a self-defense training, and they could have an advocacy also for those.
What are the cultural and societal barriers implementing self-defense education in mainstream studies?
In terms of people think that bullying, self-defense could be used in a bad way.
What are the cultural and how does self-defense training foster resilience and mental well-being in victims of bullying?
In terms of, they can, like I've said, they can protect themselves in case of bullying scenarios, and they could help other victims of bullying also.
Can self-defense education help reduce instances of cyberbullying and harassment?
Yes, because in terms of they are more knowledgeable in terms of the etiquettes and the right ways to use bullying.
What are the ethical considerations of teaching self-defense to children and adolescents?
Ethical consideration. In terms of the parental consent, because if you were teaching that kind of individuals, you also have to seek the parents' permission first before you teach those things.
How can incorporating self-defense into mainstream subjects promote a culture of respect, empathy, and understanding?
It could promote those things in terms of they can know how to use it in the right way, they will know the right ways of using it.
Can self-defense training empower victims of bullying? If so, how?
Yes, through programs. I think yung program ng community and I think yung program ng school, yung institution, nagkakaroon ng awareness sa mga bata when it comes to bullying. So, for them, nagiging aware sila, nagiging knowledgeable sila about self-defense and how to protect themselves in different kinds of activities.
What are the benefits of incorporating self-defense techniques into anti-bullying programs?
I think yung magiging benefit ng mga bata dun is to aware them. Aware them, protect themselves, and third is to have them grow in their I think comfort zone. So for me, yun yung nagiging benefit yun for the students na natuturuan or nagkakaroon ng training for self-defense.
How can self-defense training build confidence and self-esteem in individuals?
I think natuturuan naman ng mga bata sa self-defense kung paano nila i-show yung kanilang confidence or how to speak up for themselves kapag sila ay nabubuli. So, natuturo yun ng coach man or ng teacher man kung may specific subject in that field. So, I think natuturuan sila maging open to his her emotion. I think yung love nila para sa sarili nila, yung tanggapin yung sarili nila kung ano talaga sila, and not to I think believe what other people think about them. So I think nagiging mas aware sila sa kung ano yung napaligid nila at mas nagiging aware sila sa kanilang.
What role does bystander intervention play in preventing and addressing bullying?
When we say a bystander, hindi mo na ang hawig sa Philippines. So for me, if I were a bystander ng isang activity or na isang group, I can avoid some of that. I can protect myself from these kinds of people. I can avoid at the same time, I can protect that student na nabubuli din. And I can influence him or her to not I think not to harm other people because hindi lang siya. I think protektahan natin sa isa.
How does self-defense education contribute to creating a safer school environment?
So sa school kasi, yung mga institutional mga government, doon, I think yan, sa loob ng school, nagiging safe ang isang bata kapag nagkakaroon siya ng lecture ng self-defense. Kapag natuturuan siya ng isang guro o ng isang coach, paano self-defense, I think mahumubog din yung kanyang emosyon. Nagiging open siya, kaya niyang magsalita sa sarili niya, kung ano yung mga past happening sa kanya, mga experiences before. And I think ang school ang pinaka-safe place para sa mga batang ganun, yung mga naging experience.
Are there any legal implications for using self-defense techniques in response to bullying?
Yes, kasi meron tayong Anti-Bullying Act. So, for the law, meron tamang proseso paano i-expose different kind of bullying, cyber man yan, personal bullying, nagkakaroon ng aksyon ang gobyerno para matugunan ng mga ganun na nangyayari to protect the youth and to protect the adolescents kung nakakaranas talaga. And I think yun talaga yung nagiging power ng mga biktima ng bullying and yung parang depensa nila yung sarili na they can speak up for this.
What are some effective self-defense strategies for different types of bullying scenarios?
For me, para sa akin, self-defense kasi is to protect yourself and not to harm other people. Kasi sabi ko kasi, pag sa akin, I have to walk away to have to fight, I have to do anything na kailangan mo maging malakas harap ng mga hindi sa'yo. So for me, you have to walk away and protect yourself and not to harm other people. Sabihin nga natin, defense ng mga nakakasakit. And sa akin, mali yun, sakla yun. Kasi kailangan mo maging makatawa kahit sabihin ka nasaktan ka. And to protect your identity. I think yun yung magiging best way to defend yourself.
How can schools and communities work together to promote self-defense skills among youth?
Meron namang individual na program ang community at saka ang mga institutional. At kapag once na nag-examine na sila, mas maganda yung magkakaroon sa activities nila sa mga youth. Doon nagiging aware, doon nagiging open, doon nagkakaroon ng forum, open forum ang mga kabataan ng mga experiences. And for them, nagkakaroon sila ng boses sa society. Nagkakaroon sila ng boses sa society. Nagkakaroon sila ng boses sa society and protect yourself in those kind of activities and they can defend themselves all the time kapag nagkakaroon na sila ng protection.
Base sa mga naging kasagutan ng na-interview namin, preventing bullying requires addressing well-being, self-defense and intervention. Promoting well-being through mental health awareness programs can empower individuals to handle bullying situations. Teaching self-defense can provide a skill to protect oneself physically. Additionally, creating a supportive environment and intervening remotely can prevent and address bullying effectively.